Hi, my name's Ollie and I recently graduated from the Level 6 B2B Sales Apprenticeship. I am a National Account Manager at Unilever working on our ice cream portfolio, including the likes of Magnum, Ben & Jerry's, etc. So why I choose the Level 6 Apprenticeship? So when I was 18, I joined Unilever on one of their other apprenticeship schemes, which was Level 3, which is equivalent to 2 A-levels. But from day one, my objective was to do a degree, but to do it the different route via an apprenticeship, because it was something that I was more interested in and I wanted to get started with working. And as soon as I started working for Unilever, I had a love for sales. I started in an administration role when I started, and I saw that this apprenticeship was available as one of the degree ones available, and it was a pilot, so it was never done before at Unilever, which motivated me more, but because it was sales specific, and at the time, sales was something I was super passionate about, I felt that this was a really good avenue into growing my sales sort of fundamentals and knowledge, but also to ensure I get a role in the area and as an account manager while learning on the job. So it was a match made in heaven. The module that I found most interesting, I don't think there's one that I can select. One of the modules I found really useful was the negotiation module. So learning about how you deal with different buyer tactics, as well as sort of how you would set out a negotiation around planning and how to set yourself up to get a mutually beneficial deal between you and your partnerships with your customers. This I felt was very useful, albeit negotiations are probably a lot more easy than what they used to be post-COVID. As a young sales professional, buyers will tend to see that as an advantage in their favour. Potentially they could exploit that inexperience to get a better deal. So this module was something that was really useful, especially in my early career, where negotiations I found slightly more challenging. It gave me the tools to be really successful. One instance where my buyer was being particularly difficult with what they're requesting, it allowed me to get back on track and seek a really good deal for both parties. That was very enjoyable, but turned a really difficult experience in my career, something I struggled for confidence. Initially turned it around and made it actually one of my more enjoyable experiences. Never known someone to actually look forward to try and negotiate price increases, but they're always a fun challenge now. Overall, my favourite part of the apprenticeship has been what I've learned in the space and through sort of the course of Consalia in partnership with Middlesex. I've been able to directly apply in my workplace. It feels like, comparing it to my friends' degrees, that it's very different in terms of what I'm learning. I'm actually marked on not how well I can recite a test or recite a theory. I'm tested on how I've actually implemented this in my day-to-day job, which makes it so engaging and makes me learn a lot easier. I'm one of those people that really learn by doing, and for me that was really exciting to see the development that it would offer me in the workplace and how it would take me from sort of having a basic ability to be really proficient for someone especially at my age, and sharing that of course with some of my other colleagues who've maybe come from more traditional backgrounds such as straight from university. It's been really influential, that. But another favourite element of the apprenticeship was actually each year having your own dedicated project. Because of course we get a day release at Unilever to do our apprenticeship work, it almost double-hatted that I could look at a project, something that was going wrong potentially in our industry, or something that we could be doing more efficient as a team, and actually have 6 to 8 weeks spending a day researching and how we can improve that. So I was getting a degree education, but also time to actually improve Unilever from within, which was brilliant. And having one of those each year was just really exciting, almost like a mini dissertation, to really not only improve your day-to-day job, but also, really take work from it, because it's very rare someone at my age will be given a responsibility to make a strategic decision like that. So it felt like it's given me years and years of experience in such a short space of time. So I was overall incredibly excited to join the programme. There was things that I wasn't really worried for. I knew it was going to be a huge challenge, but it was really exciting because I knew I was going to learn so much in a short space of time. My biggest concern was initially time management. Of course, already being at Unilever before starting this apprenticeship, I was there for 2 years, and I knew how demanding work could be sometimes, in a good way, but realising that I'd have to do a whole degree on top of this initially did worry me that I wouldn't be able to invest time in both, and as a result, one would fall against the wayside. So that was my initial worry before applying to the program. However, it really, in a good way, it tested me to really get the most out of my time and gave me some good lessons in terms of previously I used to just focus on everything equally with equal attention, and it was almost like a magpie, just keep jumping to the next shiny thing. But this program really taught me to spend my time wisely and what is important and what is going to drive the most sales, but also what's going to give me the most personal development as well. And I feel that was a valuable lesson, not just in terms of work career, but in terms of life as well, because it's impossible to focus on everything with equal attention. And it was a good lesson to learn that now in my career rather than later on. So a lot of the quick wins I noticed when being on the program, initially I came into the program as I started I'd been doing a small sales role for 6 months prior, but when I came into the program, that's when I was starting to give a lot more responsibility. My line managers saw this program as something that would be a great foundation for me to learn from. So initially, the program gave me a very quick win and it unlocked me a lot more responsibility in terms of the accounts I'd be managing. So I was given 15 development accounts that hadn't been really managed before and had huge growth opportunities. So that was a very quick win, and immediately some of the modules around how to develop proposals and how to identify customer needs really allowed me to initially understand, or start from customers that had potentially been mismanaged, or you need to understand a lot from them because they will operate in very different sectors, giving the tools to sort of backwards think. So I remember third box thinking was the key one for me in my early days, and the quickest win, because I could think what my customer wanted and think backwards. Now I matched that within Unilever, and that allowed me to grow year on year dramatically within my accounts. It was just a shame apprentices at Unilever weren't given bonuses, but that's me being selfish. But that was a really quick win from sort of a career perspective, in terms of I was able to grow year on year and was given huge amount of responsibility at a very junior position. So that was probably the quickest win I noticed. So how do I feel now that I've graduated? It's definitely weird having Fridays back, for starters, having more time in the week when being on a degree program. But since I've graduated, lots of good things have happened. So I've changed roles within Unilever to now a full-time position and in a different category. So now I work in the convenience channel, so looking more after sort of Asda, Morrison's particularly for my remit. So that hand in hand with the graduation, it feels like it's that next step that I've now learned all these tools to now manage some really high level strategic customers. So I feel like I'm still learning, and I still kept all my notebooks that I keep referring back to, especially from first and second year. And yeah, I have to say, there's one side of me that's really happy that I've graduated, and I've been delighted to what I've learned in such a short space of time. And I feel for my age, I'm ahead potentially where others have been at the same age, especially starting at Unilever. But I almost feel like I want that next challenge from an academic perspective. And I know a bit of a shameless plug, but definitely interested in the master's degree course that Consalia offer. So I'm almost very happy where I am now in this new role, and learning a whole new role, a whole new sector, a whole new channel, and really trying to push on there. But I've got one eye on the next challenge, that being potentially a master's degree, but also now wanting to become a line manager as well, and start exploring that side of my career and what the next big challenge for me is. So this program has had a huge impact on my career, and albeit I've done an apprenticeship before to get me in the door at Unilever, this has felt like it's really given me a strong foothold in my career here. I've been able to have so many promotions. So within my role of doing this degree, I've had 2 promotions throughout that 3 years, and then I've secured a more of a promotion role now since I've graduated. So the impact on my career, speaking very top line, has just been incredibly linear. But also I think it's had more, I know this is not technically the question, but it's also had a huge impact on my confidence in my personal life as well. So I think it's been really universal, the benefit that it's had on me. And it's definitely allowed me to understand that I've done sales for a long time, and it's still a sector that I still feel like when I was on the first day, when I first started sales. It's still excitement, there's still that hunger, and the highs and lows of sales, and when you win, it's the best place to be, but also sometimes it can be a difficult place to be when you're not winning. And I love that adrenaline rush that brings. Definitely Unilever's definitely noticed the impact in the program, as they've now started a new cohort this year. 2 of those individuals are actually in my team as well, so it's really lovely to see. So not just that in terms of notable outputs from Unilever, but in terms of the project work, that generally had a huge shape on my team. One of my actual projects in year 2 was talking about setting up a dedicated, internally resourced field sales resource for Unilever and how it was operated. And I ran a pilot with myself being that exec, doing that exec position for the Southeast. And since then, they've actually adopted that nationally. And that has increased in my old channel, sort of leisure, so looking after Merlin theme parks, Butlins, those sort of customer group. It's had triple-digit growth in what was deemed a saturated channel. And that has probably been the biggest single impact for Unilever, is that this degree not only was able to help me in my role achieve more, but we were able to pilot things that actually have led to significant growth in our industry, and at a real profitable growth as well, because of the channel it operates in and the product portfolio we're selling. So that has probably been the most notable thing, is actually piloting solutions and using the sales fundamentals that Consalia underpins and the ethics, and they're all going into one of how we sell. So even, I'm probably rambling here, but the frameworks, we use the same frameworks for this model in terms of what is ethical, what relationships we should have as well. So it's for that single event has paid back the cost of this program tenfold, and in 1 year. This, if I were to describe this program to a colleague, well, there are two colleagues in my team that are now on this program, and when I saw them, when I first met them, when they were onboarded, and I knew they were doing the program, my words were to them, it's just, don't stress about it, take it all on board, use what you learn in your day life, and if you're not using it, try and seek an opportunity where you can apply it. I think that would be the message to myself as well if I was starting this program again, is almost go back to basics and just really enjoy what you're going to learn. Obviously there's going to be a lot of work, but this 3 years will fly by, and I feel if you take it on board and give the energy, it will transform your career and get you off to the quickest start possible. I know there's 2 of us, so myself and my colleague Richard, who embarked on this apprenticeship from Unilever when we piloted it as a company, and Richard's gone on obviously to Kantar now, and he's doing fantastically. And for me, obviously there's an element of pride in this. I'm one of the youngest people. I think I'm the youngest person in an exec position in Unilever, at least in my team. So it's been massive. It's been massive for me in terms of kickstarting my career, but not just from through promotions, but in terms of really enjoying work and feeling really confident, and really knowing that I can do a good job. So for that, it's given me the competence to do fantastically as well. And it's good to have pride of work, and every day you come to work, it doesn't actually feel like work. So I feel that's massive just for life in general.